So you're a recent college graduate or young professional with aspirations of starting a nonprofit someday? Well, guess what? You can. My guest today is Brandon Kelly, owner of BKWeb Productions and founder of a new nonprofit in our area, A.I.M.E. Welcome to the Young Professionals Career Catalyst. Brandon, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm ready to discuss what AIM is all about.
Wonderful. So before we talk about your nonprofit, let's talk a little bit about your career path, some of the careers you've had in the past, and where you are today. First of all, what did you dream of doing when you were a child? What was your dream career at that point?
It's interesting because when I was a kid, I didn't know what I wanted to do. That's most kids, but yeah, what I liked was entertainment. So I used to walk around. For those who remember tape recorders, I used to record little skits on the tape recorder. I was like my own personal SNL, and I would do these like weird skits. My favorite one was the live audience questions. Like, do you have a question? And it would do this like teenager that would be like, I like to listen to music and go eat pizza. Weird stuff like that. So I was like the entertainer. I loved movies and I loved traveling. So that was when I was a kid.
Mhm.
From a career development standpoint, mine was rather unique because it wasn't like, oh, I wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or any of those things. So my first job in high school was, oddly enough, Dorney Park. I was a ride operator for the kiddie area, the Snoopy area at the time. And then when I went to college, I did various jobs. I was a men's sales associate at Macy's. I did my internship at the Charter Arts School in Bethlehem,
Mhm.
um, and then I went into the field of mental health because I have two brothers with disabilities. So it gave me that experience. I worked in that for 6 years.
Mhm.
And then later I became an entrepreneur. And that journey has been interesting. I didn't expect to become an entrepreneur and to, I guess, in a way, leave that 9 to 5 life.
Okay. All right. And so tell us about your degrees and how they have helped you as a business owner and the founder of a nonprofit organization.
So I have two degrees, my associates and bachelor's. My associates at the time called radio TV, but it's media productions. I studied video, broadcasting, film, television when I was at Northampton Community College. And uh, that laid the foundation for my other company, BKWeb, to come to existence.
Mhm.
Then when I went for my bachelor's at Liberty University, I studied business, but not business like um, my major was called interdisciplinary studies, but my concentration was business and communication. So I was basically a business communications major. But I
Mhm.
took courses not in entrepreneurial endeavors, more of like running a department in a company, like being a manager or
Right.
something. The only thing that mirrored my future was some of the spreadsheet assignments I had to do looked
Mhm.
eerily similar to what I do now. So that was the only hint of the future.
Mhm.
From a nonprofit perspective, oddly enough, my nonprofit education literally came when I developed AIM, and so that was what's so weird. I knew about nonprofits years ago, but I didn't think I would start one. So it kind of came by accident
Right.
in that regard. I worked in nonprofits because when I worked in disability and mental health,
Mhm.
those were nonprofits I worked at, but
Right.
I
Right.
didn't learn the ins and outs of nonprofit.
Right. And that's so true for most of us with our careers. You just kind of go along a path and you don't necessarily know exactly where you're going or where you'll end up,
Mhm,
which can be a really wonderful thing.
mhm.
So tell us a little bit about BK Web Productions. What exactly do you do at BK Web Productions?
So BKWeb, I make videos for businesses and individuals. On the business side, I look at the organization's marketing and advertising. They are internal content for like corporate videos, and we produce them. We're an online video production company, so we're not a film or TV studio.
Mhm.
And my goal is that eventually that we would become a more of a full-fledged online studio. I'll get back to that
Mhm.
comment in a moment. The individual side of things, we could produce videos for if you're, an influencer of sorts, or if you want to do your own personal video for your friends and family. So that way we offer that bit of diversity.
Mhm.
And back to the studio comment, I think because the video production market is so saturated in the area that we're in, the Lehigh Valley, I think for BKWeb to survive is to become its own, mini studio where everything is done in-house, video
Mhm.
production, audio, photography, and we want to include web design development plus digital marketing aspects because of media, because video especially online video, requires both things, especially if videos are going to be on websites and social media. We need that.
Right.
So that's another goal, is to incorporate those two elements into BKWeb. So who knows? In the next few years, BKWeb will become its own little mini studio out in the Lehigh Valley.
That's wonderful. Great to hear that. So tell us a little bit about AIM. What does the AIM acronym stand for?
Okay. So AIM is spelled A-I-M-E. Now, grammatically, the word AIM is spelled A-I-M, but we added E for a specific reason. And it
Mhm.
stands for apprenticeship, internship, mentorship, and entrepreneurship. So four ships. And it's to represent the diverse opportunities for teens and young adults to go into their careers. I think for these past couple decades, we've mainly focused on the internship aspect of things and kind of pushed aside the other ships.
Mhm.
Not to say that they weren't talked about, but they weren't the main focus. And
Right.
so we want to offer that opportunity for students to, have a gateway to their future career, whatever they're studying. And we start with high schools, and then we do colleges. And one thing that's going to make us unique is that we're including two aspects that don't get lumped in, and that is the vocational trade schools, and then if students are going for business coaching to learn how to start a business. So that way it shows it's not just a one size fits all system, that you can learn to be an electrician, you can start your own business, you can go to college, whatever you want to choose. Not one choice is a bad choice, and it
Mhm.
offers that freedom, that career freedom for the next generation of students.
And I think that's important because we're so focused in this environment. We constantly talk to our kids about going to college and having a career that way. And there's so many other ways to start a successful career. And there's such a shortage of some of the skilled trades like electricians and plumbers. So and some of these kids don't want to go to college. They need to know that there are other alternatives for them to have successful careers. So I think it's great that AIM is covering all areas, including the entrepreneurship. I think that's really a great way to introduce these kids to all of the diverse career possibilities that exist. So sounds like a really great organization that you're starting. So what is your mission and vision with AIM?
So I have here, I'm going to be reading off what our mission statement is. So I'll read it as quick as I can. But to aid in planning for upcoming career opportunities by providing diverse career paths, utilizing the expertise of like minded educational instructors, workforce professionals, and established business owners to help streamline, uh, moving from schooling to careers. And our vision is for individuals to gain confidence and clarity by offering an open door to a brighter career in their respective area of interest. And so basically, we want students to have that, as it says in the vision, the open door to their future. And some people say, well, life is not easy, so how is AIM going to make it easier? It's not as much making it easier, because life is hard, but being that extra helping hand,
Right.
and being that extra resource on top of the current resources. We're a collaborator. We're not like here to compete with the various organizations. So we're
Right.
basically adding that extra help and that extra info to the various schools, the various organizations, and the students,
Mhm.
to basically find their way and make it a little bit easier for everybody.
Right. All right. That's wonderful. So what was your motivation for starting AIM?
So there's three motivations I discuss. It could be a book, but these are the key motivations. One was my video production company had an internship program, and everyone kept talking about it. They were like, "How did you get interns?" Because I would get interns from all around the country. I had
Mhm.
interns from UC Berkeley in California, Virginia Tech in Virginia. So it was very interesting to get not just local students from the area,
Mhm.
but also out of state. And that led to the creation of AIM. But two more personal reasons on top of that. One was, after I got my bachelor's degree, basically the mental health field, they didn't give me a chance to work up the ladder. And I felt like that they just didn't respect that I fulfilled the criteria what they needed. I
Mhm.
had the years of experience that they needed, and or required, and they just treated. I felt like I was a high school student, even though I was
Mhm.
already in my mid to late 20s at that point. And then
Right.
I was let go for something that didn't even happen, and it just
Mhm.
felt very disappointing. And I felt, well, I don't want the next generation to go through that because you work so hard for something, and for it to be kind of viewed as taken away from you, it was
Right.
very disheartening.
Mhm.
Then I looked at the statistics of what happened with millennials and Gen Zers. I'm a millennial. I was born 1989, and seeing, I felt since the year 2000 and beyond, the 2000s going to the 2010s to our current 2020s decades, that the next generation has not experienced the same level of success as what happened with those who went to their careers in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, how do we correct this issue? Rather than just complain and go
Mhm.
to go to the news stations and offer these statistics and do nothing about it. I said, well, let's try to see if we can fix it. So that way, when Gen Alpha, which is the next generation after Gen Z, we could have something that's ready to go for them. Because the oldest Gen Alpha is like early 2010s, between 2010 and 2013, and they're going to
Mhm.
be heading. They're. I think that those who are born in 2010 are just entering high school. So now is the time to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a great reason for starting AIM, and I think you have a great vision for what it will be. So, how do you envision AIM working with the other resources that are already out there, such as CareerLink and University Career Services, et cetera?
Oh, we want to work with them. As I mentioned earlier, we're a collaborator. We're not competing. We're not going to have our own career link department or our own counseling department. Who's going to be
Mhm.
our counseling department? The colleges. Who's going to be the department that's like career link? Well, career link themselves, not us.
Mhm.
And so we're going to collaborate with them and offer resources that maybe they don't have available at the moment, and it's not a knock towards them. Obviously they already have the great resources that they have, but we're
Right.
going to add that extra that maybe is not available. For example, there's a lot of small business owners that approach me that are not within any of their networks. They don't know how to get in. And so AIM
Mhm.
would be that extra boost for those small business owners to get connected with Penn State or ESU, to get connected with CareerLink. So basically, the outside groups that maybe never heard of these organizations, don't know they
Right.
exist,
Right.
and then not only that, we would basically have events where we would say, "Well, here is CareerLink. They can do this, they can do that," and we're gonna be basically promoting them. Same with a Penn State career department. We're going to
Mhm.
promote them, treat them as equals, and
Okay.
treat the counselors there as if which they are, doing a great service to the community. And
Mhm.
so any of the counselors that that hear about this are going to feel, oh wow, my name could be featured on AIM's newsletter eventually,
Mhm.
and a career link professional will be like, oh wow, AIM really promotes career link. We're getting a influx of new people coming over to career link. That's our
Mhm.
goal, is to be that extra resources, that friend and collaborator to the community.
Great. That sounds wonderful. So you have an upcoming launch party for AIM. Tell us about that.
So we're doing our launch event as a way to show what AIM can do. We're working on our case studies right now, and also just to tell the Lehigh Valley and beyond, we're here, and we
Mhm.
want to get connected with the various schools. And so the main first event is to get connected with the schools, the business owners, and the various groups. Our sponsors we're looking for to collaborate with notable businesses throughout the region and even beyond. And think of it as like a mini career expo, but without being a career expo, because obviously we're not here to. That when you attend the event, we're not we're not a job fair or anything, but we would have various tables that represents the letters of the acronym. So
Mhm.
we'll have the apprenticeship side. The apprenticeship would deal with the vocations and the trades, and we're hoping to feature LCTI and Lincoln Tech or something like that to be featured there. The internship, we would have the local colleges come over to that section, and career counselors at the colleges to represent there. The mentorship would be the high school, like high school guidance counselors and the various high
Mhm.
schools to represent there. And then the entrepreneurship would be local business coaches, entrepreneurial counselors, networking connectors. So that way,
Mhm.
it's almost like like I said, with a career expo, meeting individuals that deal with those things, and again, highlighting what they can do.
Mhm.
This is not going to be AIM's own department. It's going to be all the various professionals throughout the area. Plus,
Right.
we're going to have food and other things, and we're going to highlight some um, not only current things that are going on with AIM, but what's going to happen after May 1st. So more on that. If
Yeah.
you want to find out more, come to May 1st event.
Okay, wonderful. And that's being held where?
At Ventrex in Bethlehem, which is downstairs from Zest.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So invitations will go out. How will people find out about this event?
So we have our landing page. You have to go to aimcareers.org /events. That will have the information, the sponsorship levels, and we'll also be promoting on social media. You can also request our sponsorship packet, which is like a 7-page, discussing about AIM, what the event's about, and what we're looking for. And
Mhm.
you can contact us in our contact us section. It has our email, our the number. You can give me a call. So basically,
Mhm.
that's how you can find me. You can message on Facebook or Instagram, and we will get back to you.
Okay, wonderful. And for any audience members that may have aspirations of starting their own nonprofit, where do you even start?
So, from my personal experience, the best way to start is first get your board of directors first.
Mhm.
I had to learn that myself because I didn't have a board of directors when AIM first started, and get people that you could trust. Excuse me, you could trust,
Mhm.
and it can be a mixture of people that you already know. It can even be people that maybe you didn't know. But it's someone that has a great resume, has good word of mouth. And then after that, try to get as much of the initial paperwork done. So that way you
Mhm.
have that firm foundation with your nonprofit. And this includes your business plan, your strategic plan, your SWOT analysis, your
Mhm.
bylaws, your nonprofit handbook. Basically,
Mhm.
all the initial stuff, have it ready. So that way when you're going out and promoting, you're ready to go, and you could say, hey, we have this already.
Right.
Sometimes people, when they start nonprofits, they do a little bit here and there, but they still have a lot of work to get done.
Mhm.
I feel, get your paperwork out of the way, have your board of directors, committee members, and everybody, and then by the time you have your launch event, everyone sees, oh wow, they're ready. And so that's my
Right.
advice for those who want to start the nonprofit: do a lot of research, learn the laws, the regulations, and be good friends with the IRS, of course. And that's what I would do.
Right. And who helped you? Did you go through SCORE or where did you find assistance to get things
Um,
rolling?
So where I find assistance, a lot of it I did by myself, but also various professionals in the Lehigh Valley.
Mhm.
There was a lawyer I met that she felt that AIM would do best as a nonprofit because she viewed it as a service to the community, especially for students,
Right.
and I agreed with her. And so and then when it came to developing the business plan and the handbook and all that, that was through all the people I connected with at the networking events, and of course with the board and committee
Mhm.
members. They will offer different advices, and I would make sure I would connect with people that own nonprofits themselves, and and seek advice and say, all right, how do we do this? How do we do that? We had a business consultant who gave us advice on strategic plans, and so that gave
Mhm.
me a great picture with nonprofits. And what was interesting to hear was I found out that a lot of stuff I was doing, people go to school for and all that, and I was learning without even going to school. So it
Right.
was
Yeah, so it takes a community to achieve something like this, and it looks like and sounds like you really, used a lot of resources in the community to get you started. So that's
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what are you most excited about in the years to come?
For AIM, a lot of people think that because I chose a subject matter that is so relevant, that it will not just be Lehigh Valley and Pennsylvania in general. That who knows if there'll be a branch in California or Hawaii or Texas. It
Mhm.
could be a national nonprofit. To the level like United Way or any of those. So that would be my future goal, is that we can affect
Mhm.
students all over. Obviously, we're starting out in our local region. One thing I will say is that I do want to include the New Jersey market as a way of already trying to expand out, because Warren County, New Jersey is literally right next door. So that could
Right.
be um, a way to kind of expand out a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
so that would be my goal. And then even for BKWeb is that we would become a studio. So basically for expansion. And it's not, some people say, are you looking to be like this rich and famous or something like that? And I said, no, I mean, if I get known, fine. It's just icing on the cake. But um, all I want is that, a $5,000 car bill doesn't make me faint, and that I can have a nice, comfortable life with friends and family. That's really all I
Right.
want, and that the organization's doing well, whether the nonprofit or the for-profit, that
Mhm.
they're just a result of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what's one piece of advice you would give to today's young professional or recent college graduate to help them launch their career?
To not let the current events or various individuals deter you of your future. So they're saying, "Oh, the job market's not that good. I don't know if you're going to get your first home. You may not be cut out for college or the trades. Well, they work long hours. That might not be for you. Only you can make the choice,
Right.
you yourself. And so when you graduate high school, only you can choose where you want to go. Don't and just because you hear the word no, no is not permanent when it
Right.
comes to that stuff. So you could get no at first to whatever career you choose, but then later on it becomes a yes. And so just keep moving forward, and to basically don't let the news, because the news is, they're basically getting paid to tell you bad stuff at this
Right.
point. Don't let that deter you. Um, I know there were people that meant well, but they kind of felt, they told me, oh well, you opened a business during COVID and all this stuff, and it's like, I didn't let it deter me. I mean, there were doubts, there were moments I was nervous and everything, but I think it's going to lead to success. So I would
Mhm.
say, to a young person, you make the choice. It's not, obviously, don't show disrespect to your elders or your leaders, but
Right.
only you can make the choice of where you want to go. And so that's my advice.
That's sound advice. I love that.
Mhm.
So, how and where can our listeners find you, Brandon?
So I have two websites you can take a look at. So if you have video production needs, you can go to BKWeb Productions.com.
Okay.
People say, what does the BKWeb stand for? It's my name, Brandon Kelly. So it's basically Brandon Kelly Web Productions. But yeah, you go there for video production needs. As for the nonprofit, we have aimcareers.org. It's AIME and the word careers with an S.org. And you'll find
Okay.
out all the information there, including our landing page for the event on May 1st. So um,
Wonderful.
on there, you can find the social media links, phone number, email, everything's all there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today, Brandon. And to my audience, tune in next Tuesday, March 25th, for the next episode of the Young Professionals Career Catalyst.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and thanks for having me on today.
Thanks, Brandon.